So we covered the staff part. Let's touch on the strategy part. And the strategy part really has two parts because it's the meat of the activity. So if I open the strategy, you'll see two things here. One is context, and the second is the actual strategy. So I'll explain what I mean by this. Context. So a strategy without a destination is just a- it's a dream. So first, we have to identify what exactly do we have and where do we want to be? And that's the first question. What journey are we on? So when I open that question, let's see what it entails. One, we have point A. Point A is where we are today. And that a lot of business owners skip this and just create a vision. And they talk about 10 years, 3 years, 5 years, but they forget to stop and really do like an internal reflection of what is happening today. That's the purpose of point. We put on the date, we put on any financial and metrics that we want to symbolize where we are today. We talk about the people that we have, and we talk about the current issues. What is not working today? On the flip side of the issues, we have what are we best at? And it's super take a pause and really reflect on what type of customers do we have? What type of people do we have? What do we do extremely well? What don't we do extremely well? Because that's going to dictate our strategy moving forward. So, first step is to identify what exactly is point A. Where are we today? The second part of that is the destination or the vision. Okay, I am here. Where exactly do you want to be? Do you even know where you want to be? Can you articulate this? I know in your mind, maybe you know, but does your entry level employee knows where you want to be? So it's important to really articulate this in as many words as you can to create a visual of what does that look like. And you can use 10 years. Uh, Usually we use 10 or 5 years, which is long term. And then we make it a little bit bite-sized chunks. So 3 years, 1 year, all the way until you get to 1 year, because that kind of dictates, okay, what needs to happen the next year. So we start with like a destination. I want to sell. I want $50 million. I want to work less, whatever the destination is, then you break it down into bite-sized chunks. Once you have this, you'll identify that there's a gap, right? I am here, I want to be there, but I'm not. But that means that there's a gap between where I am and where I want to be. The next question is, what is the cause for that gap? So once I know where I am and I know where I want to be, we go back and we reflect on what is happening, what isn't happening, and when it's to start happening for us to take where we are today and get this closer to what that should be in a year from now. We do a year or 12 months as the reference point, and we do it yearly. So we slowly shrink the gap. So that's the first part. We have to understand what journey are we even taking? What journey are we on? What is today? What is home base? What is the destination? And where do we even want to? The next question that we have is, who are our ideal customers? And the reason why this is important is because we are building to build a best in class asset or a business. You have to be customer centric. You have to really solve a problem that people care. And that you cannot decide on your strategy unless you really understand who you're trying to solve for and who's your real client. So that's what that first second question is trying to answer. And inside this, you'll see um, basically we're trying to articulate who is our ideal customer, and we'll talk about how we do this in a later time. Why would they only come to us, which is our differentiation? EOS calls it the three uniques, but it's really that makes us special. And last question is, what keeps them up at night, which people sometimes kind of skip. What is the real pain point that we're trying to solve for? Customers have many, many pain points, and we're not going to solve all of them. Best in class companies find a unique pain point and solve it in a unique way. That's how they become best in class. So it's important to pause and articulate on what that looks like. I'll show you when it looks like fractional partners. So let's start with the journey. So we are here. It's March of 2024. We have a bunch of people here. We have some issues, right? It's really hard to connect with with our ICP. and we're missing some repetition. We identified that what we're best at is to connect strategy and execution and make strategy practical. We're really good at creating frameworks and processes, and we like to get our hands dirty. So we like to do the work with the people that we help. That's our home base. That's the analysis that we've done. In 10 years, we have lofty aspirations. We want to have a portfolio of 20 to 30 equity partnerships. We want to be fractional partners in the companies that we work with. Here's what it looks like in about 3 years. Here is what it looks like in about 1 year. And it just puts some visual to where do we want to be and what journey exactly are we on. So when we need to make decisions, if the decision don't support the destination, there's an immediate disconnect that we can call, right? If we're doing something that doesn't serve us having a portfolio of 20 to 30 companies, um, we can have a discussion and we can call self-correct. The last part is like what the cause of the gap. Why are we not where we want to be? Um, we have unvalidated sustainable business model. We have some other challenges, but that's basically it. So that's the journey that we're on. Our ideal customer profile, as we've identified, is millennial-ish owners of non-tech services, $1 to $5 million in sales. And we got very granular with describing the ICP. So we broke it down to the company. So you can make it your own, right? Everybody uh, can customize this. This is the beauty of the Clarity page. So if I go back to the company, we get granular with the ICP. Then we try to answer the question of why should they come to us? So we've identified that some of the differentiation is we come as a team and not as single consultants who have a unique, fun way to work on the business and do strategy that either integrates with EOS or scaling up, which is really cool. We have a hands-on approach, so we facilitate and participate. So we identified what makes us unique, what keeps our customers at night, our ICPs at night. In many cases, they started as visionary leaders, but they're becoming much more managers, which they don't really love to do. Um, a lot of times, there's no light at the end of the tunnel. They're fully committed, but they don't really know what to do, not knowing what needs to happen to make their vision reality. So, or we're working a ton and not making enough profit. So, this is what we've identified as pain points that keep our customer that, and we're trying to actively solve with our product and solution. So that's the example of the context. Before we even get to how we do this, this is the context. So you can think about where we want to be, plus the customer that we want to serve gets the juices flowing as to, okay, what does a plan look like to make this a reality? Let's talk about this in the second lesson, which is strategy and the plan.